Hello, friends. Today is another beautiful Tuesday morning, and we'll be looking at today's predictions on Betkraft. Okay, and we know a lot of games going on across the globe at the moment. Mostly European Nations League matches and also African World Cup qualifying matches, and also as well as Asia World Cup qualifying matches. And we have these matches that made up our ticket today. But in the short while, we'll be looking through these matches one after the other, and we'll be making our verdicts based on the recent games that these teams have played, as well as how they performed in recent, home and away matches. Okay, all right. I want to use this opportunity to ask those of us who are coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe to our channel to kindly take our time to hit the subscription button so that you won't be missing out on our daily content that comes up on this very channel on a daily basis. Okay, all right. That being said, without further ado, we head to the business of today, and we will start today with the very first match in UEFA Nations League. You'll have Hungary who will be up against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay, and taking a look at Hungary, the home side, in the recent games that they had in the past 6 games, they've actually been able to win 2 out of those 6, and they've lost 4 out of those. And the away side Bosnia, they have actually lost the entire 6 games that they played in recent times. All right, that tells you it's not the very best side, in the recent times. When you look at how these two teams have performed from home and away perspective, you can see that for Hungary, the home side, in the past 10 home games that they've had so far, they've been able to win 8 games out of those 10 home games, losing 1 and drawing 1. Okay, that tells you that Hungary is a very good side. They've been doing so well, winning 80% of their last 10 home games. That tells you that it's a team that is quite informed at the moment. And when you look at their away side, on the other hand, Bosnia have actually been able to achieve just a single victory in the past 10 away games, but they've had 1 draw as well, and they've lost 8 games in the past 10 away games that they had so far. 80% of the away games that they've had, have actually resulted to a loss, quite opposite of the other side, and that tells you that it's not the best side, actually. And the last time they met was in far back 2007 when Hungary played from home and they were able to defeat Bosnia by 1-0. And prior to that, we saw them also beating Bosnia by 3-1 from away. That was in 26. And in this very encounter, judging by the recent form of Hungary, we will expect to see a very good home win for the home side, for Hungary side. It is home to win. That's all valid for this very game. Okay, and that will take us to the next for the day. It is in African World Cup qualifying match. We'll have Rwanda who will be hosting Nigeria. Okay, when you look at recent games for both sides, you can see that Rwanda have won 3 out of the past 6 recent games. They've had 2 draws as well as 1 loss in the past recent 6 encounters. And away side Nigeria have won 2 out of the past 6. They've also had 1 draw, but have lost 3 in the past 6 recent games that they have so far. So when you take a look at how these two teams have performed from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side Rwanda have won 2 games. The last 2 home games that they played out so far, I've seen them winning all the 2. And they had 3 draws, but have lost 5 games in the past 10 home games that they had so far. And away side, on the other hand, Nigeria, play from away, have actually been able to achieve 5 victories from away. They've also seen 3 losses as well as 2 draws in the past 10 away games that they played out so far. So the away side have been doing average, if you ask me at the moment. And you're looking at last time both teams met was in 2018, and Nigeria played from home on that was actually in the Nations Cup, and they played out a 0-0 draw on that very occasion. And in this very one, Nigeria, seeing that Nigeria actually lost the last match to Benin, the last World Cup qualifying match to Benin, they'll be doing their best to, achieve a victory against this Rwanda side, and we'll be expecting to see a Nigeria side, away side, either winning or draw, and end up 4.5. That's what valid for this very game. Okay, and Nigeria to win outrightly. Nigeria to win outrightly. Not only Nigeria to win outrightly. That's our valid for that very game. Okay, and that takes us to the next. It is also Nations Cup qualifying match. We'll have Botswana who will be up against Egypt. And when you look at recent games for both sides, Botswana have won just 1 game. They've had 2 draws, but have lost 4. They've lost 3 out of the past recent 6 games that they had. And Egypt, their away side, have won 3 games. They've lost 2, and they've also had 1 draw. All right, and Looking at how they perform from home and away perspective, Botswana playing from home have been able to achieve 3 victories from home. They've lost 3 games as well, but have had 4 draws in the past 10 home games that they had so far. And then when you take a look at the Egypt side, the away side have been able to achieve 4 victories from away. They've also had 2 draws as well as 4 losses in the past 10 away games that they had so far. All right, Egypt have won 40% of their away games, and when you look at how these two teams have performed, from head-to-head perspective, you could see that the last 3 times they met have always seen Egypt winning on, each time, defeating this side, both home and away. It has always been Egypt who has the upper hand in the last meetings for both sides. So when you do in this very encounter, we really do expect to see a win for the Egyptian side, seeing that the last away game they played out so far was a 1-1 draw against Guinea-Bissau. On that occasion, we will be looking to achieve a better result in this one. It is a way side to win now, shortly. That's what we expect in this very game. All right, that takes us to the next, and it is also in Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match. We will have South Sudan who will be up against South Africa. All right, South Sudan in the past 6 have been able to achieve 4 draws out of the past 6 games, and they've had 2 losses. And South Africa, their way side, on the other hand, have seen 2 wins and 4 draws in the past 6 recent games. And when you look at how these two teams have performed from home and away perspective, playing from home, South Sudan have actually won 2 games in the past 10 home games. They've also had 2 draws as well, and have lost 6 games in the past 10 home games that they have so far. And when you look at our side, South Africa have won 2, and they've also had 5 draws. They've had 6 draws, 2 wins, 6 draws, as well as 2 losses in the past 10 away games that they played out so far. All right, and that tells you that South Africa is having a better result when compared to both sides. And in this very encounter, we would expect to see South Africa's side achieving a result, not losing out shortly, but actually away side winning or draw in under 3.5. That's all ready for that very encounter, and that will take us to the next, and it is also in Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match. We'll have Swaziland who will be up against Mali. Okay, Swaziland have won 2. They've had 4 losses in the last 6 games. And away side, Mali have won 2 games. They've also had 2 draws as well as 2 losses in the past 6 recent encounters. When you take a look at how these two teams have fared from home and away perspective, you can see that the whole side, Swaziland have actually won 1 game in the past 10 home games. That was far back 2022, against Lesotho. That was the last time they won a game from home, and also they've had 3 draws, but as well as 6 losses, in the past 10 home games that they had so far. That tells you not the best side, even when they play from home, And away side, on the other hand, Mali have been able to achieve 3 victories from away. They've also had 5 draws as well as 2 losses in past 10 away games that they have so far. And when you put all this result together, it is best to expect to see the Mali side achieving a result, but we expect to see away side either winning or draw and under 3.5, judging by the last 3 away games that Mali played out so far. Seeing them played 0-0 draw against Madagascar, also the same scoreline against Namibia, and a 1-1 draw against Tunisia. So we do expect to see Mali to either win or draw and under 3.5. That's our value for that very game. Okay, and that takes us to the next for today, and it is in Asia. World Cup qualifying match. We'll have United Arab Emirates coming up against Iran. Okay, UAE have won 4 games in the past recent 6, and they've also had 2 draws. And Iran, on the other hand, have won 4. They've had 1 draw as well as 1 loss in the last recent 6 encounters. And taking a look at how these two teams have performed from a home and away perspective, we can see that United Arab Emirates, the home side, have won 7 games in the past recent 10 encounters. They've also had 2 draws, but have lost 1 game in the past 10 home games that they had. And looking at Iran, their away side have won 8 games out of the past 10 away games, and they've also had 1 loss, which came in the match against Qatar, and they also had 1 draw against Uzbekistan. Okay, and every other one. Okay. They had a draw against Uzbekistan, and the loss was actually against England, not Qatar, and have won 8 games from away. So that tells you that Iran is actually a very strong side, and looking at their head-to-head performances, you could see that the last time they met was in January this year. So Iran defeating the UAE by by 2-1. And also prior to that in 2022, Iran also won by 1-0. And it has always been Iran who has won, the head-to-head meetings for both sides. In the past 8 head-to-head meetings, have always seen Iran winning and have won on 7 occasions out of 8, and the other one being a draw where they played out a 1-1 draw against the United Arab Emirates in 2008. And putting all that result together, we will also expect to see Iran, achieving a result in this very encounter, seeing that it's a World Cup qualified match. It's a very, a very important match for Iran, and we expect an away win in this one. But away win, that's all right for that very encounter. All right, that brings our predictions for you today on Betkraft to a conclusion. All right, I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope your ticket goes great. Once again, we saw yesterday every of our predictions yesterday was actually, on point, and I hope today we also have the same. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day, and we'll be coming up with our predictions, but don't miss out on it. But until then, keep winning.